Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah. Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, well under 20 today. I didn't even look it up. I'm having a taco salad. It's Taco Tuesday here, so you know what happens. Um, anyway, I did a video a while back on the allergies and addiction, and I've gotten so much response from it. I think sometimes it's important to remember where we came from with the grains and the sugar before we began practicing our keto. I think it's absolutely amazing. Um, when hearing all the responses and when I talked about my bronchitis that I had 6 to 7 times every single winter. It was like I'd no sooner feel the symptoms, I'd call the doctor, he'd fax in the script, I'd pick up the script, I'd go through it, I'd have one good week, it would build up again, and that's how it kept happening. And I'll never ever ever forget the pulmonologist look on his face and the tilt of his head when I said, I think giving up wheat has something to do with not getting these things every single year like I used to. And I said, do you think it could be related? And he goes, he tilted his head. He said, no, no, I've never heard of that. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And, who knew that our job might be to enlighten our medical professionals that we're paying all these bucks to and the pharmacists for all these tests. I remember the Symbicort one time I went to get it and it was $350. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. And yesterday I was picking up a script and for my thyroid and the person in front of me was told that whatever they were getting like 4 prescriptions, one of them was $727. And she said, no, I won't be getting that. I hope it wasn't like saving her life. It's amazing. So I think that sometimes we forget the gift alone of giving up the wheat and the grains when we first began. It's so funny because it becomes such a big deal. And Wheat Belly by Dr. William Davis was where I first realized that, oh, I maybe I'm supposed to give up wheat. Of course, at that point, I thought Plan B would be the gluten-free. And so I know that Weight Watcher girl had this gluten-free pizza company that she touted. And so, of course, I ordered the usual 24 of them because, I'm just such a little hoarder for my freezer. And so there was a Plan B. And then in giving up the grains, all of them, the wheat and the grains, then my Plan B became the keto, the fathead pizza. And that was my savior. And it's kind of funny to think that as long as I found and I suppose, yes, Mike, if I went to be a carnivore, it would be the pizza topping pizza. And there's one infomercial where one chef makes an upside down pizza, first with the pepperoni on the bottom and then the cheese and things like that. And then and a little bit of, he has like the squeeze bottle with, I guess, the pizza sauce. And then he does one of those flips and it looks just like a pizza. It was really kind of cool. I do kind of like that. In all of the things that I wish I could do when I wished I could be a chef, it would be how they do the onions and then flipping something in a pan. And Kelly of Keto Kelly, Just Get Her Done, does that because she's got a cooking background and she can do that flip. I'm always impressed by that. It's like Tom Cruise doing all those cocktails, the movie Cocktail, and how he could do all those things in the blender and all that. I quit drinking before those things became popular, which is probably a good thing. So, we give up the wheat and some of us, I know that I forget like what that was like to have all of the inflammation and the tummy distress and everything else and not even feel it anymore because, the whole grains were part of a, heart healthy food plan, right? And so the distress, I don't know. I just guess sometimes you don't know how good you feel until you give something up. And then it's like, oh, my body can feel this good. And I think that's how keto has been for me. And the longer I stay on it, the more betterer I can feel because of giving up things along the way and just paying attention to things. So today it's Taco Tuesday. And so here are my macros for the day. My calories are 1,442. My protein is 34.2. I'm having 6 ounces of grass-fed burger on my taco salad. My carbs are 11.1, and the fat is 123.2. And I have my taco salad on 50 grams of Olivia's baby butter blends romaine, and I think 100, maybe 125 grams of, it's going to be the green leaf organic lettuce because they didn't have red leaf, although I will swing by and replenish my baby butter lettuce and my red leaf today after my AA meeting. And so it's very, very simple. And I'm having the medallion of the Sabra guacamole and 4 tablespoons of Daisy sour cream. And then around it, on like the outer perimeter with the lettuces, I will put a little macadamia nut oil, a little avocado oil, and a little extra virgin olive oil. And that is my treat for the day. No, I don't have salsa anymore because I found that I love the sweeter ones. And so finding one that has less sugar in it, it just was such a waste of a jar. You know, I'd have 1 tablespoon of it and then didn't really like it. And so, you know, I'd be throwing out $4 to $5 jars of salsa, and it just wasn't integral to my Taco Tuesday. The sour cream and the guacamole make me happy enough, along with the grass-fed burger that I season up with my own seasons. I don't use the taco season. And it's funny, since somebody called me out on my au jus and my ranch powdered packets that I put in my Mississippi roast, I've stopped using them. Isn't that funny how that happens? Because I was using them and justifying the 1/4 teaspoon of both of them, and like it was okay for me to have those. Well, it's not okay. You know, they're filled with all the chemicals that I'm always telling people about. And so, yeah, I gave them up, and I've been making that leftover stew, which is basically the Mississippi roast, and it still has an unbelievable savory flavor without adding any chemicalized spices. The stuff you learn here. And I'm doing the podcast. So I guess I just wanted this video to be in praise of Dr. William Davis with his wheat belly, because he stays true to his course of that. And for me, it's the flip side of keto. If I was to go back and read Wheat Belly or Total Health, which I could, or read his, go onto his website and read his vlogs and blogs and articles that he publishes and stuff, I would get re-enthused about the gift of giving up the grains, and how my body must really, really, really like that. I'm going to be 68 in 2 weeks, and so I have no idea what I would be like, look like, feel like if I didn't give up the grains 5 years ago, and the sugars as well. And, there's more to sugar than white table sugar. It's hidden in everything. So anytime you buy something that isn't a single ingredient item like spinach, there's going to be, perhaps in America, some addition of one of the sugars. And it could be under any one of those 68 different names. Maybe there's even more now. But it's hidden in absolutely everything. And so we can forget, and we can still be addicted to sweet, as Keto Christina often talks about, or at least she did in that one video where she said, I used to think I was a sugar addict, and now I realize I'm a sweet addict. So for all of you that are still practicing sweet addicts, it's just important to know that those things could be causing some damage inside of your body. And when you get to the place where you may be ready to look at that, I'm I'm very happy for you. And it's just something that I just mention every now and then. It's always your choice, of course, to have these things. And we think of the ingredients as in such small amounts it can't possibly hurt. And on our journey, we do things, I call them BBCs, better bad choices, until we can let go of them. Like for me, with the powdered ranch and the powdered au jus going in the Mississippi roast. Now, if I was having it, I would just put the pepperoncini on it. I would put the butter on it. I would add the Emeril's organic beef stock and then the cauli crumbles because I kind of, make it into a stew. And I would add those things without those other things and plenty of Himalayan pink salt and cracked black pepper, which are the two things that I seem to use when I cook. I'm not fancy Nancy. I don't get into too many different spices until when I did the chicken thigh cauliflower soup. I did put in all of those different type of curry spices and it came out delicious. So that's different. But I use my organic spices, that it's kind of funny because I'm I'm a boot person and Sperry's. I love my Sperry's for work, the different little boat shoes. And so, I have a collection of them. Some people have a collection of high heels and pocketbooks. Well, I seem to have a collection of the organic spices and adding an obscure spice to it was an ironing board because it's an antique house. And Greg took out the ironing board and put in little shelves in it. So now I open it up and it's, huge. It's like, 4.5 feet high, and it's my spice rack. So I can fit one spice on each shelf. And so I don't have 452 paprikas because I couldn't see the 451 and had to go out and buy another. Stop me if you've ever heard this before. I know that probably all of you, when I worked at the shelter, oh my God, the crushed red pepper, paprika, and garlic salt or onion salt. There was like 19 of them, and there are two different houses, and there are like 19 of them in each kitchen because you couldn't see them in the front, and so and I was the shopper too. That's kind of funny. And so I'd put it on the list, and they'd buy yet another container of garlic salt, and they're 45 behind it, but you never got to it because, well, at least that's how I am. And that's how I am with food too. So if, I have to be careful because the visual is, I want to see what I'm using. So because my food plan has gotten so simple that when I go into the room that I call the Walmart room in the basement, that is nothing but shelves of things, the items are getting fewer and fewer. And I have backups on what I use, like the Rouse pizza sauce. Like I have 6 of them, and the lemon juice, which I'm not going to buy any more of when it's done. Organic juice, I have like 4 of them. So when those 4 are done, they're done. The beef stock, the chicken stock, and so that's how I do it here with my items. But So anyway, just back to Dr. William Davis. That was my first. I don't know how I got there, but there I was. Having the low carb, high fat food plan, realizing that the low carbs that I was going to be having, needed to be the veggies. And I was still at that point having a sweet potato and a white potato once a week as the treat. And so, because I was having like 75 total carbs a day. And so it was at that transition point, and then a year and a half of the low carb, high fat with the starchy veggies, and then those went, and I was listening to tons and tons and tons of people that were doing keto under 20 total carbs, and I wasn't there yet, and then I was there, and then it was just like listening to the people that were doing 1 meal a day. I began listening to them and then going, I can do this too. And so I've been practicing that for like 6 months. Now I listen to a lot of people and do a lot of videos with Keto Mad and Keto the Mechanic, who do carnivore. And although I haven't done Steve Gonzo yet, but So they're doing carnivore, and I'm like laughing. Is this my next journey? I don't think so because I love my big leafy, but you never know. Because if you told me I was going to do one meal a day and I was going to be successful at it for 6 months and I was doing my 2 meals a day, I would have said, you're cracked. You're whacked. No way. Who knows? It's our journey. But, my wish for a lot of people doing the beloved keto is that they give up the artificial stuff. That's all. I just have that little wish and prayer. And I don't know if you'll feel better or worse for giving it up because I know that for a lot of us it's still a crutch. And have at it. I still respect your journey and understand exactly where you are because I was doing the same thing. It wasn't with artificial sweeteners, but it was with the starchy carbs, and it was like, don't touch my baked potato on steak night. Don't you touch it. And also Coffee Mate. I would have readjusted my whole food plan and gum. So I had my addicted to items that I never ever thought I would give up or go without and be okay with it. First it's a white knuckle, okay, I can do this. This is when I usually chew gum, and then give it up. It can happen. And so it did happen. So anyway, I'm happy to be wheat free, grain free, sugar free, gum free, Coffee Mate free, alcohol free, and yeah, that's enough for right now, isn't it? So my pickles, turtles, and snowflakes, I'm so glad you're here. We are doing keto, the speed of a turtle. Why? Because we are coming out of the woods of our just decades of standard American diet crapola. And it takes a while. Healing the gut, healing our bodies, one non-scale victory at a time, 1 pound at a time. It takes what it takes. And so we do what we can do. And we give up our crutches when we're ready to make the step to get a little bit healthier, like going from regular iceberg to romaine to organic romaine, little baby steps for our health. Why? Because we matter, and that is what is cool. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you the next time. It's time for me to get ready to go. Yes, I actually do wear clothes. I will see you the next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.